Good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm here to talk about how theatre for young audiences can bring about psychological and social change. But before I get into the discussion, I'm just going to share a personal experience with you. Let's go back to 1986. I was a 7-year-old girl, shy, timid, but obsessed about the performing arts. Stage, very strongly connected to the theatre space. My mother was a theatre critic, and I would accompany her to all the theatre performances, obviously whichever was suitable for me. And one day, my mother got a call, and she was told that she needs to bring me to watch a play. She told me, okay, we are going to watch a play, but this time, you are the main invitee, and I'm just tagging along. It was a very interesting feeling. I felt very important. I felt very powerful. I was the invitee. We reached the venue, and I was a little confused because there was no big stage, not a curtain, not a row of seats facing the stage. Instead, there was this huge hall, and there were lots of windows all around with bright light coming inside. There were people, young kids and their parents, sitting all around a little square. And there was one bunk bed placed right in the middle of the stage. I was wondering, what was this? Is it a playground? Is it a circus? Or is it a play? In a few minutes, the curtains were drawn, the square in the center was lit up, and music started. A boy, a 6 feet tall man, dressed in cartoon print pajamas, holding a little teddy bear in his hand, walked into the space. This man was acting, being a little boy, a technique which later was called Brechtian theater technique. The boy was singing, "Ai mala सांगायला लाज वाटते, एकटं एकटं झोपायची खूप भीती वाटते." Mom, I'm really ashamed to tell you that I'm very scared of sleeping by myself. I was amused. I was that boy. My mother was trying to train me to sleep by myself in my room because my brother, who's 7 years elder to me, he had started sleeping by himself when he was 6. But I was different. I was scared. I was scared of darkness. I was scared of demons. And this boy was scared as well. I felt I was not alone. I was not wrong. I was not flawed. I was just not ready. I looked at my mother. She smiled. And I think she understood. Because from that point, as I remember, this insistence of making me sleep alone had softened a little bit. That was my first experience of how theater can bring about a change in your life. My journey with this theater for young audiences, this methodology, started from that point. Let me tell you about this theater methodology that we follow. It's called GRIPS theater movement. GRIPS, the word means wit, presence of mind, spontaneity, a quality all children always possess. This theater was started by Herr Volker Ludwig in the 1960s in West Berlin, which was then West Berlin in West Germany. Children's theater in Germany at that point was limited to fantasy, fairies, ghosts, demons, larger-than-life huge sets, exotic costumes, and fairy tales. Engaging? Yes, of course it was engaging. Entertaining? Extremely entertaining. But Volker thought theater is not only about engagement and entertainment, and it can be a very effective medium to bring about a change. With this thought in mind, Volker started this GRIPS theater activity, GRIPS theater movement. What did he do first? To begin with, he stripped off the huge sets, the larger-than-life, away from reality sets. And he brought this theater into what is now called the intimate theater, the Greek arena theater, where the distance between the performers and the audience is very less. Then he started exploring topics that are really closely connected to the children's lives. Things that children face in their everyday lives, like fear of performance, studies, parents really making them do things they don't want to do, parental discord, bullying at school, fear of needles, medicines, hospitals, something that children very strongly relate to. And in no time, this theater got really, really popular because it resonated with what the children were facing. At the same time, it gave a kind of perspective to the parents of how they need to look at their own children and the children in the society. It built a kind of empathy, and it gave voice to the children who are usually in any society no less than an oppressed class. In the 1980s, as Grips Theatre was growing stronger and stronger, we all know him, veteran actor Dr. Mohan Agashe, who's also a renowned psychiatrist. He went to Berlin on a conference and he happened to meet Volker Ludwig. Volker took him to watch his play. Dr. Agashe saw the plays and he felt, oh wow, this is something we need. We need this theatre, these plays back home. So Dr. Agashe facilitated, he sort of became a catalyst in holding this creative collaboration with Grips Theatre Berlin. He brought Volker and another director, Wolfgang Kohlneder, to India. He got together different theatre enthusiasts from all over the country and had a little workshop. As an outcome of this workshop, a play was done in 4 different languages. The Marathi play, Chhan Chote White Mothe, which was the first play that I saw as a 7-year-old, was co-written and directed by Sriranga Godbole, who's himself a producer, writer, lyricist, director. And he started spearheading the Grips Theatre activity. And I became a part of this activity in 1996 when I did my first play. I have been connected to this theatre ever since. Now, this is a very interesting quote by Konstantin Stanislavski, who's a Russian theatre director and a guru. He was once asked how to create a play for children. He replied, the same as for adults, only better. And I think this is a very, very profound thought. And why? Because children, as we all know, are extremely receptive. They are like a sponge. They absorb everything that they see, everything that they hear. And they have a strong belief system. If we are able to engage them, they really, really believe what we tell them. In their minds, the line between reality and fiction is sort of blurred. And hence, it becomes extremely crucial to give them the right set of values, the right ideas in the right manner in the form of theatre, because it's a very, very strong medium of expression and also reception. And that's why creating theatre for children is a very responsible thing to do. Unfortunately, it is not perceived like that. We believe that engaging and entertaining them is enough, but it is much, much more than that. So what is our effort? In Grips Theatre methodology, we always feel that no subject is really off limits for children. There's one very important thing that we know, that children live in the same society as we do. They're listening to the same things that we are listening. They're reading the same. They read the newspapers, they watch news, they listen to us talking. They may not be proactively doing so, but they're there, they're around, and they're listening, they're absorbing. They're thinking, they're processing, and they have questions. And they come and ask us questions, and what is our typical response to that? Oh, you're too young for this. No, you won't understand. You don't need to know this. This is none of your concern. They don't argue many a times, but they don't stop thinking. They keep processing that, and they keep asking questions. And today, they have, in a way, a very powerful, at the same time, a very dangerous medium in their hand, that is technology and social media and internet. And they try to find their own answers, but we all know that that may not be the right and authentic information that they get. And this leads to more and more confusion, and it builds a strong foundation to wrong ideas of thinking, which can be very harmful as a society, not just for the children, but in the society as a whole. That's why we feel no subject is off limits. At the same time, what to talk to them about, how to talk to them in a way that they would understand, in a way that wouldn't really disturb them, and they can take something along with them. That is where the craft of storytelling comes in picture. And that is what we do when we try to build our craft as theatre makers and storytellers. I'm going to give an example of this play, Jamba Bamba Boo. Jamba Bamba Boo in jungle language means human. I'll tell you what this is. This is a play about children and religion. we talk to very young children about what religion is. Now, we say religion is a very sensitive topic. It's causing a lot of unrest all over the world. All the more reason why we should talk about it. We came across a video in which lots of children were asked a question, what is religion? They gave the funniest, confusing, colorful answers to that. But there was one boy who said, religion is something we follow so that we feel less scared. This answer set me thinking, and I wrote this play, Jamba Bamba Boo. We decided to go from known to unknown. We all know, all children know Jungle Book. We have all read it, seen it. How does Jungle Book end? It ends when Bagheera and Baloo bring Mowgli to the city, to the town, because he's a man cub. Our play starts there. Bagheera and Baloo take Mowgli to a school to get him admitted. And there's a form. They fill things up, and there's a section that says religion. Now, Baloo and Bagheera don't know what it means, but they assume that since he's a man cub, his religion is going to be human. They write human, but obviously the principal doesn't accept it. She says, no, this is not a religion. You need to find his religion. But the jungle people are completely unaware of what that is. So they meet a few kids playing in the playground. All of them belong to different generations. And they offer to take Mowgli home and also in their religion. So he goes to every house, to every kid with different religions, and he understands a little about the religion. However, he's drawn away from all these houses because he doesn't have the right manners of behaving in that particular religion. Now, Mowgli is extremely broken-hearted, disillusioned, and more so, he's left hungry because he doesn't get food in any of the houses. Now he decides to go back to the jungle because he's not happy with the man's world. But as he's going, it starts raining, and it starts raining heavily. It becomes an apocalyptic rain. And everybody starts drowning, and Mowgli decides he really wants to save his friends. As he goes back to the town, he's pleasantly surprised to see that all the adults are helping all the children, irrespective of what religion they belong to. And that is a point when Mowgli makes the adults realize that no matter what your religion is, you all are placing humanity above your own religion. And hence, the most important, the biggest, and the first religion is humanity. And all the kids go to their principal and they say, we want to change the column religion, humanity. And trust me, after we performed this play in several places, there were kids coming to us and giving us the most beautiful answers like, he is so-and-so, and he is my best friend. And those names were definitely different from their own names. That's lesser said. It was a very gratifying experience to say that what we're trying to say is reaching the audience, and there are children telling their parents that we don't have to look down upon somebody because he belongs to another religion. Another example is Bol Bindast. This play specifically talks about a very sensitive and yet a very important issue, that is child sexual abuse. Nobody talks about it. Children are scared to talk about it. We have read and heard enough about this. I'm just going to get into what we did with this play. This little girl is getting abused by this boy's uncle. And these two kids together find a way to bring this to light and find a way out of this. In this play, we had a box. We had a character of a box who was the anchor and who was the storyteller. He used to tell the audience at the end of the play that if you have any such experiences, I am your safe adult. You can come and talk to me. And we used to place this box, something like this, at the center of the stage after the performance. And children would write notes and put them in the box. Those notes were read by the teachers, and if they found something, a red flag, something alarming, they would assess the case, take it to the local police station, and do the needful. And there were at least 4 to 5 such situations in and outside Maharashtra where those cases were exposed and a legal action was taken against the oppressor. There are many such examples over the last many years where we have seen that this medium is bringing about, sensitizing and bringing about a big change in the minds and hearts of Not just children, more so the adults, because they get a child-centric view of looking at children and their world and their problems. We are a small theater group. We don't have a lot of funding. We cannot go on performing all over Maharashtra or all over India. We have our constraints. But we have one thing which we really feel very proud of, that is consistency. And it resonates a lot with the theme of our talk here. We are entering the 40th year of GRIPS activity in India, starting this December, last December. We have seen two generations. We have seen young parents bringing their little kids to watch our plays, and these kids have grown up and bringing their own kids. It has been three generations. I was an audience at 7. I started acting at 17 and 18. And now my daughter, who's 21, who's also a part of this activity. We have really, really done this over a long period of time, and we wish to go on strong, trying new things, trying new forms, trying new issues. And these faces really make us happy. This is one example of our latest play, which we did about body dysmorphia in young adults. I'm just going to say goodbye with one parting thought. There was this psychiatrist, unfortunately I don't remember his name. He once said, children are not half human beings. Children are complete miniature human beings. Hence, we need to treat children with respect, with empathy, with sensitivity, and that is going to really help us create a better country and a better society in general. Thank you very much.